CanvassingDFW. I am your host, Jose on the mic, and with me as always is the lovely and talented, amazing May. How are you doing?
I am wonderful this morning. How are you, Jose?
I'm doing fabulous. Another road trip for us. That's always a fun thing.
Yes, we're at the Continental Gin Building.
We are at
today.
the Continental Gin Building
Dallas.
in Deep Ellum. Yes, more specifically, Dallas,
Right.
but Deep Ellum. And with us is our good friend of the show, Andrew Kochie. Brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
You've been staying pretty busy.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have quite a bit to cover and a lovely panel to go ahead and deal with us. If you would introduce your guests.
We have two other artists with us today. This is Jenny Keller.
Hello.
Ms. Jenny, how are you?
Hello, Jenny. Great to have
Good to see you.
And a new artist in our building who's really phenomenal, Francene Christianson.
Hello,
Francene, good to see you. Good
Nice
to
to
see
be
you.
here.
Outstanding. We have a visual aspect of the show that you did not see the last time we were on, and
This
so
is great.
we are actually
Featuring,
honored. That we
artwork
have
from
that we
all
have
three
this
artists.
lovely from all three artists. We
Yes.
have great work that you in
Should do
the
this.
audience can see.
Instead of
Yes, we're going to go ahead and do all of that. We'll be getting some close-ups of these things here later, so you
Yes.
can see the detail. It's amazing work. It really is a fabulous talent that we have here. Why don't you tell us what you got going on here? Because you, like I said, you've been pretty busy. Got some things coming on. We want to go ahead and
Definitely.
disseminate this information.
Yeah, so coming up on October 20th and 21st, we have
Okay.
our Fall Open Studios. And then it'll open up to the public from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on the Friday night, and then 2 to 8 p.m. on the Saturday. And so we have 61,000 square feet of artist studio space here
This is a great
with
Wow.
with 50 artists.
nice.
We have about $500,000 of artwork that's going to be hung to people to come see. So
That's quite a bit of art.
it's quite a bit of art. So we are spread across 3 different floors.
Okay.
So right here we're on the 3rd floor at the very end. But there's
the last
34.
bastion here.
Yeah,
The outer reaches of the realm.
there you go. Our Fall Open Studios was actually the largest event that we have during the year, and we only open our doors twice a year, once in the spring and in the fall. So fall
Good
is our-
times here in Dallas because of the
Yeah.
cool weather.
yes.
Sure.
Yeah. So our building was built in 1888, and so all of the studios, back in 1982, the owner converted it into artist studio spaces. So now we are the oldest and largest artist community in North Texas underneath one roof.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I love the history of the building too.
Yeah.
Can you give just a little bit of that history?
Yeah, so this
They
building was
made
built.
gin here. Is that what it was?
They didn't actually make gin
Oh.
here. They made cotton gins. So a lot of Dallas history was based around the cotton belt, and at one time
Sure.
in the early 1880s, 1/6 of the world's population of cotton was produced in a 150-mile radius of this building.
Yes, and
And
still
so-
evidence out there.
Yeah, so this building originally was built in 1888 by Scott Munger. And what they did was they produced the cotton gin machines that would clean the cotton.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they would ship them out all over the United States from this building.
Wow.
So when you walk around our building, you can see old evidence of the old 1880s factory type style of
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Lots
that.
of metal.
a lot of metal in places,
Yeah.
our old
Doors.
fire doors and the old loading docks and that type of thing. So it's really cool to look back in history
Right.
because we're one of the oldest buildings that's still standing in Dallas.
Actually, I was watching. I was looking at the building coming in. I did photography for years, and so I still have that eye. It just never goes away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you just turned me loose in this thing for a couple of hours, and I'm just black and white. In this, I'd go crazy, go
Right.
absolutely nuts in this place doing black and white.
That's
Yeah.
what's so cool about Fall Open Studios is not only are you seeing a bunch of artists and work, you're browsing around in a very historical building.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
It's
So-
overall wonderful experience.
Yeah, we're listed on the National Register,
Oh,
and
nice.
the 3 buildings right here in this little area of Deep Ellum are in a historical neighborhood as well.
Yeah, like I said, this building itself is a work of art.
Yeah.
yeah, it really is.
So it's, I bet,
So it's
really
fitting.
exciting to paint here, have your studios here at 3309 Elm Street.
3309, not 3909.
Right, 3309. We'll make sure to have that. And when I say we, of course, you know that's you.
Yes.
Put
real
that on the
loud.
screen so
I'll make
everyone
sure
knows
that-
on October 20th and 21st.
October 20th and 21st.
Yeah, so that's exciting, right? So you have your studios here.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been here at the Continental?
It feels like since 1888.
She helped hang the last door.
That's right, I did. You'll still find my fingerprints on it. But
Yes.
No, around 2009. So
Oh, you've been here then
been
for a
here
while.
a while.
Yeah, cool. How have you seen the progression in this place from when you got here to where it is now?
You know, we've always had a lot of people, but I think we have more people now than ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of the old timers and a lot of new people, and we've seen some turnover, like I
Sure,
said.
yeah,
over
it
the years,
happens in the
but,
community, so.
I think it's a real strong and stable group, and I think we're at capacity.
We are. All of our studios are
just
released
can't take any
now.
more now.
Really?
Wow.
Well, that's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
I believe when we looked in the database for all the stuff that we have here and for the building, we're completely at capacity. So
Wow.
this will be the largest open studios that we have done, with the most participation. Actually.
Wow, that's going to be real
Exciting.
nice.
Francine, you're new to Dallas.
I am. So I moved here from Minneapolis in January and got my studio in April. And I share my studio with someone, and it works out great. The thing I like, because I'm new here and I don't know anybody and don't have my suppliers like I did up there, everybody's just very open and sharing. And for me, it's fantastic. My realtor told me about this building, and she has a friend who's an artist, and he said it's the building to be in, and he was right. And not only because it's a great building for all the reasons we were just talking about, but everybody's just terrific. And like once a month we have socials. And so,
Nice.
you know, when I first came, in fact, I said to the manager, is there anybody actually here? Because you walk the halls and I didn't see anybody. Well, everybody's behind their doors.
Yeah, everyone was working.
And they're working. And so she said, well, you worried about that? So then she knocked on 5 doors, and everybody was so nice. And then they started talking to me and telling me, oh yeah, try this. If you can't get in here, try this. Everybody was just so nice, and I was just so lucky to get in.
And now you're just part of the family.
There you go.
And everybody's just very, not only nice, but talented. And it's very eclectic. As you'll see if you look just at the 3 of us, everybody's creating very different things. And I'm just really happy
And
to
it's
be
still
here.
great stuff, man.
Very.
Really
I
happy.
walked around. I have had a chance to see some of the other works when the doors were open, because I don't like knocking on doors and bothering people. I'm like, you're slinging paint? I'm going to leave you alone. Why rob you of your creative thought? But yeah, it's just amazing work, the talent in this building.
We have sculptors, glass artists,
Yes.
people who paint, visual artists like ourselves, but there's a wide diverse photographers,
Yeah, sounds
Jewelry.
Mixed media, so
fashion design. So yeah, it's a wide diverse group of people.
full
Yes,
building too.
that's right.
That's a really well. The last time we were here, I'm not sure what the capacity was, but it was getting close.
It was getting close. I think we were at like 90% capacity.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, 100%. That's cool, man. That's nice. Like I said, nice problem to have. Real nice problem to have. So
Because
what are the
we're
projects you have going on right now?
Well, several actually, but one of the biggest projects I'm working on is some technology here at the Continental Gym Building, and I've developed from scratch a database system called Artwork CMS. So essentially what that does is it interfaces local artists with local opportunities across the city, and that's something that we're trying to grow and develop, not only with different organizations that are all over Dallas, but just here locally in Deep Ellum as well. And what that does is it gives an artist the tools to be able to upload artwork that you see behind us, and to be able to send that off to people who are like interior designers.
Nice.
And so we're interfacing with our local businesses. Like if a coffee shop needs a certain type of art, they can go into the database and they can search
Oh, there you go,
who are
yes.
their local people.
So they don't have to go beating their feet up in there
Yeah.
as bad.
Because I remember, I imagine, excuse me, that there's such a challenge, right, for you're creating your art, and then there's a business side of it. You do want to sell your art,
Right.
yeah, and reach people that love art, people that maybe don't even know
Yeah.
that they love art,
Right.
So you want to reach as many people as possible. So this is
Yeah.
very
So part of the technology too that we're going to have during Fall Open Studios is our QR codes that go next to paintings. And so you can go in, and if you like something, you can scan that QR code.
I
It
get all the
automatically
information?
gives you the artist information.
There you go, nice.
And then you can see the other artist's work as well. So
Sure.
you can go through and just scroll on your phone. And if you find something else that might not even be displayed, you can contact the artist immediately.
That's cool, but you know that's something that's been sorely needed. You know the old thing where you went out and did an organic search.
Yeah.
That's that completely inefficient.
Right.
Completely inefficient, and it doesn't help the person who's looking. Certainly doesn't help the artist that's trying to get his stuff out there.
Well, if an art collector comes into art like an Open Studios event, one of the biggest things is we want them to be able to have some kind of tool that they can go back home with and go look again.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And we're kind of reinforcing that relationship with the artists when they have come into our studios. So that's part of it as well. They're able to email everything to themselves. If
Well,
they
it's a
like.
lot easier than writing it down on a napkin and hoping it makes it home.
That's right. And Jenny, you said that site was very easy to navigate, and you really appreciated that.
Yeah, because I'm just not very good with technology, and I was able to upload my art and
Sweet.
put the information
I
in.
bet that was really exciting.
It
Miss
was.
Jenny approved. There you
Yes.
go.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
I like it.
I bet I might be able to negotiate this.
I sat down with it ready to fail, and I didn't. So
Perfect. I like that.
Great.
Made it easy
That's
for
great.
everybody.
yeah.
That's good. So what else you got going on?
One of the cool things that's going on throughout the city of Dallas right now is every 15 years we redo our cultural plan in Dallas. What works 15 years ago might not work today.
Okay,
And
sure.
something that is going on right now that started last night at the Dallas Museum of Art. There's a series of meetings throughout the whole city where they're going to revise the cultural plan. And one of the big things that they're wanting to do is interface more with local artists, be able to provide them more resources throughout the city.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, so it's a huge thing. I heard last night it was very packed out. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there last night. I will be at the meeting on Thursday night,
Okay, yeah.
so up at Walnut Hill. But it's a huge part of our city to be able to interface not only our visual artists that we have here, but also your musicians and your theater and like all the aspects of our culture here locally in Dallas.
Well, that's kind of the way we started with CanvassingDFW. Was if okay, you know what, we want to be able to go ahead and incorporate all facets of art,
Right.
whether dancers, musicians, visual, anybody, film, it didn't matter. And so there's so much talent that's here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
Exactly.
and there's enough out there that you can actually get it together and build something strong, as opposed to okay, this guy's good over here, this guy's good over, but they're so disconnected.
Right.
Yes.
And so that I went in their website, kind of did a little digging around up in there. I like the idea that what they're doing, trying to encompass everybody, because I
Very
help you,
inclusive.
you help us. I
Right.
mean, we're sharing resources as opposed to just blowing money over here, spending resources over there, and then really not getting anything back for it.
And that we have some opportunities also to expand out into some of the other neighboring communities.
Sure.
In the neighborhoods that might not have anything that could be like a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Or like a theater group that might be able to perform somewhere else in a different neighborhood, but then
Exactly.
have an impact in that neighborhood as well.
Yeah, so that's
One of
exactly
the
what-
biggest things that we have measured results on in Dallas is that our cultural aspects of our city really do affect our neighborhoods.
Oh, absolutely.
In our urban corridors. So.
Absolutely. Like I said, get the word out there, help each other out. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Jenny,
Yes.
let's talk about your artwork. I have not had a chance to really kind of get into yours.
Oh, well.
So
some of
this
it
is your
here.
chance. This is your chance to do one of those. Get yourself out. There you go.
We can all do that for
I
you.
know.
Well, I do mostly painting. I do some installation work, although I haven't done much of it lately. But I like to create environments for kind of a total room experience, and it's hard to get a space big enough to do that.
Right.
That's
What scale
held
are
me
we
back.
talking?
Well, when I had access to a college, I was creating a room, like a 12 by 12 room, that I would just kind of create a whole environment
Oh,
Wow.
that
interesting.
people could walk into
Yeah.
and experience. And I've done a number
Kind of
of
like Meow
those.
Wolf in a way?
Like what? I'm
Like
sorry.
Meow Wolf, maybe?
I don't know.
Okay.
My brain is not
Oh, it's
working.
okay.
So I have something that is rare in Dallas. I have a basement at my house.
Oh, wow.
What?
I have a basement.
That's not
You want a
weird.
basement?
It's weird in Dallas, and so
You must have the only basement here in
no, there are a
Dallas.
few. But anyway, so I've got a beauty parlor in my basement in pieces because I did an installation that was about this beauty shop, and it had
How fun.
Oh, okay.
you know, a shampoo deck, and I had a sink, and I had water flowing and bubbles coming up, and
Oh, wow.
paintings, and it was a whole room, and you could go in and walk through and see the various stations, and everything was art,
Right.
But there were
That's
these
kinda
large
cool.
pieces that I had constructed or had to purchase, like the sink. I didn't make the sink. So it was a tribute to someone who had had a beauty shop in Dallas in the 1950s, and
Oh,
so
wow.
I got 50s stuff.
Oh,
Anyway, so I've got that, and then I did sort of memorial for AIDS victims, and I created a room within a room, and it was draped in black and had lights coming into it, and you could view through the wall. And anyway, another thing where you go in and you're sort of totally immersed. That's
You have
also
pictures
stored.
of this anywhere?
No, but it's there's a
That
video.
sounds
but
interesting.
it's,
I don't like to
of
see
the
it.
beauty shop. There's
Yeah.
a video of the beauty shop on tape. That's how long ago this was. It was in the 90s. But anyway, so
Okay.
so I do that, and I'm not doing any big ones right now because I don't have a place to do something big right now. So I'm painting, and I have a lot of large paintings, but I'm not doing really large paintings right now because I don't have a car I can transport them in.
Yeah.
So I have to
Can't get it out of the house.
rethink that.
I can't get it into the back seat.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I paint, I do realism, and I do abstract expressionism, and right now I'm working on some little surreal kinds of
Which are really amazing.
pieces. So that's what I do, and I was telling May earlier, I've been interested in language and signs and symbols, and so I have some paintings that are about that. So that's what I do. I just retired as an assistant director of a nonprofit gallery that I did for a number of years.
Okay.
And also I was saying to May that when you retire from something like that, you're not really retired because you still get the phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah, they didn't tell you that when they handed you, your
no.
wife.
But anyway, but I'm
See
happy
ya
to, I'm happy
later.
to do it, but it's, maybe I just, I haven't been able to let go either, but I have been able to paint a lot more here.
Good.
Andrew was in the last show I did, and he won Best of Show with that
With the piece
little
that's behind
over
us,
there,
actually.
yeah.
The redacted love
the
letter.
redacted love
Okay.
letter.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so that's stuff I was doing, and it's trickling away, but I still have, connections there, but I am painting a lot more because of that. And
Well, I'll make sure to go ahead and get your information from your website and have that scrolling. It'll be like
Okay.
right about here, so.
Okay. But I am really interested in the art scene here in Dallas, and how we can bring all kinds of art to various neighborhoods and get neighborhood kids involved and
Sure, yeah,
adults.
absolutely.
Get people involved in creating things as well as observing what we all do.
Exactly.
And that means dance and theater as well as visual arts.
I tell people the DFW area has as much, if not more talent than any other urban area, New York, LA, things of that nature. They just seem to be able to focus more on what they're doing. They've been at it a little bit longer, but it's like talent down here is just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it rivals anything you get anywhere,
Yeah.
and I'm really cool about that. Really cool about that, Miss Francene.
Yeah, and what's nice too about having open studios is that when you come, you can actually meet the artists and see them and talk to them about what they're doing. And I love the fact that you've evolved, and when you come to a building like this where there's so many artists, you can actually see how they're evolving, and you can actually come year after year and see that evolution. So I just like that very much. So I started painting full time about 10 years ago. I've been painting since I was 9 years old, but I went into commercial art, and I was in advertising, and
Oh, okay.
so so when I started doing this for someone, someone said, "Why don't you do some of your California photographs because I love photography. I love black and white photography.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you.
it's the best. It stands on its own.
And I loved, because it's like an abstraction right away from the reality. So then all of a sudden you could just really see, for me, the landscape, you could really see the structure. And then I would throw my own color into it. And when I didn't have it as a color photograph, suddenly then I could just use my color sets.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Use your imagination at that.
Fast forward, when my father passed away, my mom said, "You want the box of slides?" I had all these slides, and I was flipping through, and I came across the photograph that inspired this painting over here, which is called Road Trip.
I like that one.
And, kids can't travel that way anymore.
No, they cannot.
And
It was funny
And the way back.
in the way
Yeah,
back,
in
and
the way
there's
back.
good reason,
And no
but we had a
seatbelt.
lot of fun in those days,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
I think it strikes a common chord with some of us who actually got to do that.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did.
And when
is
I
looked
did
at
that painting, I won Best in Show at a local art show back then. I thought, I got something here. So I actually enjoyed doing the figurative. So I started doing a lot of paintings from old pictures, and I try to, there's a lot of them that are just, and everybody's got these boxes and boxes of old pictures, and most of them are just snapshots. They're not that great, but you might find a portion of something or the whole thing that actually is a great image. It tells a story, or it intimates a story. And those are the ones that I gravitate toward, because when I do these paintings, I want the viewer to then look at it and connect with it, and have that painting take them somewhere. So maybe it's a gesture, maybe it's something very elegant, or maybe it's something just very ordinary, but something that everybody can connect to. And
Well, I totally connected with this thing when I started looking at the glasses, the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm a kid from the '60s, so yes, I totally understood that.
so and then it evolved, and then I have a painting called Sinatra Afternoon, and that's just like had this image from, again, a family get together, and I changed what was I edited, and it just had
Poetic
that feeling
license, it's
of,
okay.
It just had that feeling of casual fun, and the clothing. You can be now, but it can also take you back to then. And I like the fact that there's certain things about people getting together that's universal, it's sort of timeless. But I love, some of these I do very big. I really love doing the clothing. And the clothing, some of the clothing from the 60s, gorgeous. The
Yeah, they were.
fabrics.
No, yes.
And
For
I
mitzvah.
forget, and I do these, and because sometimes I don't always use my own photos, you just remember how elegant sometimes affairs were.
Yes. That one there.
And it kind of opens up things, so I enjoy what I'm doing.
That
And
one
I
there
love it when I can
reminds me of the
connect with
whole
other
Jersey
people.
Shore thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of a little bit.
Yeah, actually it does. That's what takes me back. Girl with the head wrap there.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the
Very
vibrancy
common
of
back
the
up in
colors that we
Northeast.
use. It's really,
I like putting the bright color in.
Yeah.
They're really intense and beautiful and pure.
Thank you.
Lovely work. Well, I'm going to go ahead and have a chance to get some of these photographs done, or take some pictures of these so I can go ahead and put them on there. I will be getting with each and every one of you to get the information so I can go ahead and scroll that along bottom and have that information out. Get with you about the things that you got going on, date-wise and everything, so we can get that information out. I thank all of you for being here. Andrew,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Jenny,
You're
thank you for
welcome.
being here.
Thank you.
Ms. Francene,
Thank you.
the lovely MA.
Thank you, Jose. It's great to be here to talk about Fall Open Studios. Which
Yeah, I'm
is
actually looking forward to that.
October 20th and 21st.
October 20th will be from 6 to 10 p.m. and then October 21st from 2 to 8 p.m.
Is there a cost for entry?
It is free, open to the public.
Free!
I like the price.
And
The
most of
price
the
is
artists
right.
will be providing wine and
Yeah, we'll have
Snacks.
things.
Wine and snacks.
Oh, there you go.
And it's free. And
Free, and you get some snacks.
Meet
Right?
some
There you
nice
go.
people.
It's a win-win for everybody.
There you go.
All right, well, folks, this has been another episode of Canvassing DFW. Thank you for listening.